Caravan moisture traps are a complete waste of money. Now, I know that's controversial, and it's this time of year when you start to pack your caravans away and you go to Halfords or wherever and get some of these moisture traps, which looks like this, and you put 2 or 3 of them, normally 2, in your caravan, ready to collect water over the winter months. Now, I've obviously seen these in caravans for years and years and years, and to be honest, I never saw an empty one. So I kind of thought, well, how many of these would you have to put in the caravan to actually make an effect? My theory was that the caravans aren't a sealed unit, so that any air or water-bearing air can get into the caravan at any time. So any moisture taken out of the air by the crystals and put into the container would get replaced by more water-bearing air through the caravan's ventilation. So I kind of thought, I think you could probably put 100 of these in here and you would still get the same effect. So I posted this opinion on a few Facebook pages and it was pretty hostile, to be fair. I got lots of people saying, well, I've always put them in my caravan and I never got damp. Well, there's a reason for that, and I'll talk to you about why that is at the end of the video. I was so convinced that these were a complete waste of time that last season I did a highly scientific experiment to prove the fact. Now, I think I'm going to probably get this peer reviewed in one of the technical journals just to make sure, but I think it's fairly conclusive. So this is what I did, and I'll show you in a second. I got 2 identical Sprite FB Quattro FBs, brand new, and I put 1 container in one and I put 6 in another. Let's have a look at what happened. We are in the Quattro FB, and this is the Quattro FB that I put 1 set of crystals in, and as you can see, the crystals have gone and we've got about half a container full of water. The caravan's nice and dry, there's no dampness anywhere, nothing on the surfaces, the curtains are okay, all the cushions are fine. So the theory is that that amount of water has been sucked out of the air to keep this caravan nice and dry. So let's have a look at the next one. And here we have the other Quattro FB, and as you can see, there's 6 containers there, all with their crystals gone and half full of water. So that would mean that you would have to change the other container 6 times to get the same amount of water in the same time period. So that proves that 1 or 2 aren't going to make any difference. And I think if you take that theory on, obviously we've got 6 here. I think that if you put 12 in, you'd probably get the same effect, and carry on and carry on and carry on. So I think that's fairly conclusive that these things are a bit of a waste of time. People put them in the caravans and they think, oh, I haven't got any damp, therefore these worked because look at all the water that I've collected. It's kind of like putting a thimble underneath the Niagara Falls and saying, oh look, I've got a thimble full of water. I think there's so much water that goes through these things that you're never going to catch it unless you seal the caravan up and close all the vents off, which is practically impossible. So in my mind, that's fairly conclusive. One was, well, partly full up, all the crystals were gone, and it does give you 2 packs of crystals per container actually, so you're supposed to then refill the crystals up so you can fill the container right up. Obviously the amount of crystals that you get in 1 pack gives half, and then the rest gives another half, but I didn't do that because again I think it's a waste of time. So you saw the 1 container there which was had used all its crystals, and then you saw the other 6 that had also used all the crystals and filled the container halfway full. So like I said, I think you could have put 100 in there, and if someone wants me to do it, if they pay for the containers, I will do it. I will put 100 in a caravan and see what happens over the winter. That would be quite fun actually. Yeah, I think it's pretty conclusive. If you put 1 in here or 2 in a caravan, you're just completely wasting your time and money. Having said that, they're only a couple of quid, so if you think it does something and it makes you feel better, then fair enough. You know, it's not hurting anyone, is it? But just make sure you put them in a place where they don't spill the first time you move the caravan and then get your upholstery all wet, because that completely defeats the object. And every year we see someone who says, yes, you can pick our caravan up, not told us that they've put one somewhere, not given us the keys to check, and then it's spilled all over the floor, over the carpet. So put them in the sink, put them in their own containers, or even on the floor. It makes no difference where you put the caravan, what height it is. They still do nothing, but from your point of view, it makes no difference. So just put them where you like. So I'm fairly, I'm more than 100% sure that that is pretty conclusive, but it would be interesting to see what you think and what your comments are. Obviously, you know where to put the comments, and I'm ready for it, so it'll be fun, but we'll see what happens. I think some of you will agree, others won't, but I mean, science is science, you know, you can't really argue with it. So like, subscribe, and keep an eye out for the next videos that I do, hopefully just as controversial. Oh, I didn't tell you how to stop damp. Now, you know my feelings between water ingress and damp, two totally different things. Damp is where you get the environment causing an issue, where you've got, sometimes you get mold on the surfaces, you'll get a kind of a green dust on the surfaces, and you may get spores on the upholstery and things like that, and you'll get a musty smell. Now, the reason for that is the same with any damp, anything like that, is that it's down to ventilation. If you have put your caravan in a storage compartment with other caravans and they're all really tight together, and there's maybe a hedge at the back of you, then the likelihood is much higher that you're going to get a kind of a damp environment, because the air just can't get around the caravan in the same kind of way. If you put a cover on, there's a kind of a push me pull you thing with the covers. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. They do say they're breathable, but they still don't allow the kind of air that you really need through the caravan to stop it getting damp. So if you put a cover on, you may find that the damp is going to be there as well anyway. But if it's, I'll do a whole video on that anyway, because I could go off topic. So the key is having it in an open environment, leaving the ventilation open. I would recommend lifting up your cushions and putting them at an angle so that the air can get all the way around them. Maybe take your curtains off and take them home and put them in a warm environment. That might be a good idea. And then leave the blinds in the down position. I know you shouldn't really do that, because they the springs can kind of lose their memory. But again, there's kind of a you know, is it best to leave them down and stop them getting mold on, or is it best to leave them up to stop the springs going? You can always retension the springs at a later date anyway. So that's that. You can, to stop the green, I did recommend wiping all the surfaces over with like a Milton or you know, something like that, that is not a bleach, because you don't want to bleach your cupboards, but something that's going to kill the spores that are in on the surfaces. But it might be in the air, so there might not be anything you can do with that. But I have had people try that, and when every year they get the same issue. And the reason they do that is because they generally park in the same place, next to caravans, next to a hedge, under a tree, and that's why they get damp. If they just move the caravan somewhere else, they wouldn't get it. But if they have to put it there, then there are certain things you can do by wiping the surface with Milton and things. So I think the presence of damp in the caravan has got nothing to do with whether you put crystals in. It's whether the air can get around the caravan sufficiently enough to stop this kind of stale air. And when you get stale air, that's when you get the mold and spores growing. If you've got ventilation, you just don't get it. It's like having a house shut up for 6 months. You're going to get the same thing with no ventilation in it. So that's how to stop it. And like I said, I don't think it's anything to do with crystals. So if you like this video, like it and subscribe to the channel. Obviously there's lots more stuff on there that you can see already, and I'll be keeping on doing more videos as we go forward. Check out my Ideal Caravan for more tips and more technical stuff. If you want to have a look on there, sign up to that and you get access to me, and you can ask me questions on all things caravanning. Basically, you pay me some money. And don't forget to listen to caravanradio.co.uk when I'm on there as the technical expert. So you'll be hearing lots from me on that as well. So listen to that. So thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.